Hey everyone, S.H.I.E.L.D Nation here, and welcome back to a brand new ranking here in the channel. I would like to stop and take the time to rank all of the TV series and the shows that I've watched over this past year of 2020. I have watched 19 series. Yes, I know that's not a lot, but the 2020 series I've watched a lot of series over the past year of 2020. But I'm specifically talking about the series that ended in 2020. So the ones that started in 2020 and ended in 2020, and also the ones that ended in 2020 but started in 2019. So those are the series that I'm counting on this list today. So please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My list is certainly not the right list. It is just my list, and you're free to comment down below your ranking of all of the TV shows or the series ranked from the worst to the best that you have watched over the past year of 2020, or you could just do your favorite. And also, please note that I do have a Twitter now. My Twitter is now open. You should see it on the screen right now. And yeah, you guys can go over there and follow my Twitter if you want to. I will be doing small little reviews for WandaVision as the episodes come out on my Twitter, but I'm not going full into discussion about WandaVision, and also for Batwoman Season 2. Also, please note that my tribute for Ninjago will be uploaded tomorrow. I finally found out a way to not have it blocked. So the Ninjago tribute that was supposed to come out last week on Thursday is coming out a week later, like literally a week after the 10-year anniversary. But I'm just happy that you guys will be able to see it. It's not my original cut, but this is going to be more advanced. It is going to be a lot better than I think my original cut was. So I just can't wait for you guys to see it. But that was a long intro. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into my ranking. Kicking off my list at number 19 for me has got to go to Black Lightning. What else is there to say about this season that I haven't said before? I just don't like it. It's boring, it's confusing, too many Dutch tilts, and just overall just uninteresting. Like, it literally just lost everything that I loved about the show. Season 2, it was losing me a little bit, but season 3 just felt so filler. It felt so irrelevant to me. Like, I just wanted to get the season over with. I was bored throughout the entire thing, and this is definitely one of the worst Arrowverse seasons I have ever seen. At number 18, I have the High School Musical, the series, the holiday special. As you guys know in my trailer reaction, I was hyped for that. I really was hyped for it, and it disappointed me. It disappointed me on so many levels, mainly because I just thought that it was going to be like the sneak peek for season 2. I thought it was going to be just like a Christmas special, but set inside of that world. Instead, they had different cast members sing songs, different Christmas songs, in their hometowns. And I felt like that was okay, and they also gave a little bit more backstory on them, so you kind of just saw the actors, you saw the human side of them instead of their characters. But oh my gosh, I just gotta say, most of the songs were forgettable. I just wish that they would have went on to that classic High School Musical, the musical side of things, in a Christmas special, and I thought that would be pretty cool, just to see an old-fashioned Disney Channel Christmas special. But instead, we get a special that focuses more on the actors, which is fine. I just wanted more. Coming in at number 17 for me has got to go to Supergirl Season 5. Yeah, the first half of this season was boring to me. I thought the second half, post-crisis, was better. I feel like Season 5 of Supergirl was one of those seasons that just did not surprise me at all. Like, I knew going into Season 5, I was like, I'm going to be bored. And that's how I was. I was bored. I was confused. I just did not like Supergirl Season 5 as much. And I definitely do not want to rewatch it, especially from pre-crisis. But I do think that the brainy stuff post-crisis was pretty cool. And the Lex stuff and Elena and Kara stuff, I really did like their relationship aside of the season. Everything else, I just thought was boring and bland and uninteresting. Coming in at number 16 for me has got to go to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. I already know a lot of people are going to hate this. Like, a lot of people love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Y'all grew up with the show. I get it. I understand that. That's how I am with Ninjago. But at the same time, Season 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has to be this low for me. I don't remember it. I don't remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. When I watched the season, I was interested in the story that they were presenting to me inside of the trailers, with them having to go back in time to save S.H.I.E.L.D. by saving Hydra. That was the cool, interesting part to me. That was my draw to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was my draw to the season. And then when I watched it, it turned out not to be that. And then just the overall show now is just a time traveling space show, and it's not as much Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So this season to me, it just I was just so bored, and I did not understand anything. But for fans of the show, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to love this season. You guys are going to like how everything comes full circle in the end. You guys are going to like the Avengers Endgame reference, the Quantum Realm stuff. You guys are going to love that stuff because you guys think that it's inside of the MCU. But for me, I got to say, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7 is just not that good to me. At number 15, I have Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 through 5. So this is just counting the entire crossover. I feel like it has gone down on my ranking of Arrowverse crossovers, because it just felt like this whole entire crossover was all about who they can get to do a cameo. You have Tom Welling coming back as Clark Kent. You have Erica Durance coming back as Lois Lane. You have all these cameos and stuff coming in here, and they just kind of sacrifice the story a little bit. With Oliver dying twice, that really doesn't sit well with me anymore. And yeah, overall, the crossover should have been this epic big thing that brought everything together and then added in some little fan servicey moments in there. But in the end, it just turned out to be more so fan service than the actual crossovers that came before it. At number 14, I have the LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special. Now, I even said in my LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special review that I felt like this did not feel like Christmas. And that's true, because in Star Wars, there's really not any earthly type of holidays that go on. So I think that Life Day is actually a pretty cool concept for Star Wars. But I mean, yeah, the overall thing just did not feel like Christmas to me. And I thought that the High School Musical Holiday Special was going to feel like Christmas. And I even said that in my trailer reaction. And then when I put out my review, I backtracked and I said, this special, the LEGO Star Wars special, actually felt more so like Christmas to me. Because at least it had Christmassy parts. At least it felt like they were actually trying to do something different, but also incorporate the themes of Christmas inside of the mix. And I really do love the fact that we got a lot more little humor and stuff surrounding the Star Wars world, originals, prequels, and sequels. So I thought that all of that was pretty cool. So I just think that everything that's inside of this special worked for me, because I do love Lego. I do love Lego specials like this. So I just think that, yeah, I had fun with it, but I wouldn't say that it really puts you inside of the Christmas spirit. At number 13, I have Batwoman Season 1. A lot of people are going to hate me for this one. Yes, Batwoman Season 1 is at number 13. I mean, I had it at number 10 on my Arrowverse ranking, and that's ranking all of the seasons. So imagine what I was going to have on this ranking when there's only 19 things to rank. But yeah, number 13 is Batwoman Season 1. And the reason for that is because, I mean, you know, the first half of Batwoman just really didn't sit right with me, and I was bored too from that half. But I think post-Crisis, the show just got a whole lot better. Once they just got past the fact that Kate Kane is a lesbian and that she's a female wearing the Batman suit, I thought that since they got past all of that in the first half of the season, the second half of the season just became more character devoted, more villain character devoted, while also being more action devoted. And I thought that the action was pretty cool, the mystery, everything that happened on the post-Crisis half worked for me on so many levels, and I thought that's what kind of brought it up for me. I haven't rewatched Batwoman Season 1, and honestly, I really don't want to. But at least Season 2 looks like it's off to a great start. At number 12, I have Ninjago Season 12, Prime Empire. Prime Empire was pretty interesting to me, mainly because, I mean, it's a new Ninjago season. Of course I'm going to check it out. But, you know, it's a cool concept. The ninjas get inside of this video game. They have to fight their ways out. And then, you know, if they die 3 times inside of the game, they die in real life. I thought that was pretty cool. And I like the fact that the ninja actually do die, so you can see those consequences inside of the video games. I love the fact that we actually get a little bit more relationship development for Jay and Nia. Even though it's not that present, not as great as Skybound was, but I thought that it was really cool inside of the season that they sprinkled that in. The action is pretty cool. The video game techniques are pretty cool. I just think that everything inside of the season is pretty cool. But just like other seasons and just like other shows on this list, lower on this list, I have not rewatched Prime Empire. Also, Unagami, he's a pretty sympathetic villain. Coming in at number 11 for me has got to go to Doom Patrol Season 2. Originally, I was going to have this up higher, but that was a couple months ago, and in those months, I've since found out that the finale was actually not supposed to be a cliffhanger. The finale was actually not filmed because of COVID, which sucks, but I mean, you can get what you can get. And Doom Patrol Season 2, to me, I loved it. I did love it. I love the fact that we get more character devoted stuff. It's not as funny as the first, but I thought that it was kind of funny in here. But mostly, the entire season is mostly character devoted. And I think that that's what works for Doom Patrol, and I think that that's what works for the season. But without that comedy level, it just did not sit right with me. But at the end of the day, I still think that it was a good season. I still laughed at it a little bit, and I just loved all of the weirdness that went inside of it. But yeah, other than the comedy part, I really don't have any big problems, except for the fact that I have not rewatched it, and I have not gotten the urge to rewatch it. Kicking off my top 10 list has got to go to The Flash. The Flash here, man, yeah, I mean, what else can you say? The Flash is still a good show. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's great as Arrow, but I would say that it's still a good show. I think that if they keep on going for 10 seasons, I would probably still be here watching it. But The Flash Season 6 was one of those seasons that I felt like it was better pre-Crisis. Maybe in my review I said it was better post-Crisis, but I think now I'm going to say it's better pre-Crisis. Mainly because they put a lot of emphasis on Crisis. You get a lot of just a team being kind of distraught and like, okay, we're going to lose Barry in a couple months. Like, this is wild that we're going to lose Barry in a couple months. And I think that's what really works for the season. The fear of Crisis works for all of the characters that's inside of the show. Post-Crisis, I still think that it was pretty good, but at the same time, you still have that Love is a Battlefield episode inside of it, which is not very good. But I mean, yeah, Flash Season 6, what more can I say? At number 9, I have DC Legends of Tomorrow Season 5. I really did love this season. I mean, I loved it a lot, but there's also a couple problems in there in the mix, is that they really don't take themselves that seriously, which is one of the reasons why I do love the show. But at the same time, you don't really feel that clear narrative of the story. You can just skip one episode this week and then the next week it wouldn't change anything. Also, Ray Palmer leaving the show, that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And also, the Sarah having power stuff, that wasn't pretty cool. But I think everything else, like the Fates were cool villains. I just thought that this season worked for me on so many levels as being just this fun and enjoyable season. At number 8, I have the High School Musical, the series from Disney Plus. And this could be cheating because the show did come out in 2019. But I mean, it ended in 2020, so the shows like Flash, Batwoman, all of that is on this list. But, I just want to clear that up, that yes, the show ended in 2020. It is a 2020 show for me that I watched. And yeah, I mean, I can confirm this is how theater kids act. I was a theater kid. I still am. I mean, I want to get back into theater, but I was a theater kid, and this is how theater kids act. I think that this overall show is a homage to the High School Musical movie, as that being one of the most successful Disney Channel original movies. So I really feel like, yeah, this show actually plays homages to that, but also it has its own characters, and it has its own distinct style. It's not trying to copy the High School Musical movie. It's just trying to be its own thing inside of Disney Plus, and that's what I really liked about the show. Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett, I can't deny, they can sing, and they do have talent, and they do have chemistry. Why? I just don't like seeing those two together for some reason. But I just think that everything else about this show I can relate to, because like I said, the mockumentary and the shaky cam is so weird, but it's also pretty fun. And I just like the fact that the show feels a lot more mature, a lot more teen heavy than a lot of the Disney Channel shows. And I think that that's actually a good thing. It makes it stand out. Coming in at number 7 for me has got to go to Stargirl. Stargirl was just a breath of fresh air for me and for the Arrowverse as a whole. When I saw the first episode, I thought, this is actually high budget stuff. This is not like CW stuff. It doesn't look corny. It does kind of look a little bit cheesy, but at the same time, I feel like that's kind of at the core of the character of Stargirl. But I just really did love this season. And I gotta say, man, if I got it on Blu-ray, I would watch it through and through again. But I have not gotten the urge to rewatch Stargirl. Even with me having HBO Max now, I mean, Stargirl is on there. I just haven't had the urge to rewatch it. But I love the forming of the Justice Society of America, and I also think that Brooke Bassinger, she's just great in the role of Stargirl. Probably maybe perfect, but I gotta say, she's really great in this role. Coming in at number 6 for me has gotta go to Big Mouth Season 4. I just think that this season really wasn't as funny as the other seasons, but the only reason why I have it up this high on my list is because it's more character devoted. I do think that this is the third best season of Big Mouth, and a lot of people think that it's either the worst or either the best. A lot of people are mixed on it, but I just thought to myself, Season 4 of Big Mouth was so character devoted, so much inside of that anxiety levels. And at the point in my life that I am right now, I have a lot of anxiety, so I can kind of relate to these characters about them going through anxiety and stuff like that. So I really did like that aspect about the season. The animation is always pretty fun. It has a lot of raunchy, crude humor that you really do love from the show. And I just think that everything else about it, going back to the development of these characters, worked for me on so many levels. But like I said, it just was not that funny as I hoped it would be. Kicking off my top 5 list has got to go to Ninjago Season 13. Of course, I had to have a Ninjago season at my top 5. I mean, come on, Ninjago is my life. But I mean, Ninjago Season 13, I do think that it's the best of the post-March of the Oni Ninjago seasons. And only reason for that is because we get a lot more development for the Cole character. Cole was a character that, in these last couple of seasons, minus, just the Oni trilogy, in those last couple of seasons, Cole really didn't get that much development. He really didn't have anything to do on the team except for being like the guy that loves cake or the guy that has super strength. So I think that after season 5, they just really kind of forgot about the Cole character until Day of the Departed when they tried to give him something good, but then that did not work out great. So we flash forward to season 13, and I thought that giving Cole a great arc, introducing his mother as she's the one that has Spinjitzu Burst, I thought that was pretty cool. But my main issue of this season is the fact that they made such a big deal about Cole having his mother inside of this season, but I wish that she was actually the villain of the season, so then we can have a little bit more personal conflict. Coming in at number 4 for me has got to go to Arrow Season 8. I think Pre-Crisis is better here. I'm going to talk about Pre-Crisis. I just like the first 7 episodes of this season, mainly because they go through different points of Oliver's history, so then you can actually see the tensefulness and actually you can feel the emotion when he dies inside of Crisis, because he knows that he's going to die inside of Crisis, but he has to accept the fact that he is going to die. I also like the structure of the season, the fact that he's going to different Earths to collect different artifacts for the Monitor, but it's also a reason for that because we are going through different points of Oliver's history, whereas like season 1 he returns back home to Starling City, just like he did in the first episode of season 1. Episode 2, we have him in Hong Kong and stuff like that. Episode 3, we have him in Nanda Parbat. So I really do like the fact that they're going through different points of Oliver's history to help him better more get ready for Crisis. But the second half is not that great though, because it does feel like it's trying to set up a little bit too much after Arrow, and it tried to set up a show that is not coming. I did like the fact that Oliver's kids did come from the future. I really did like that episode, and you can check out that ranking up above. Kicking off my top 3 list has got to go to The Boys Season 2. I mean, I was never a big fan of The Boys before Season 2 came out. A friend recommended The Boys to me, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I watched it, and I loved the show. Like, I literally love the show now, as you can see, as it being at my number 3. I just like the fact that this season is actually more character devoted. It's funnier, too. I just think that, overall, man, The Boys is so distinct of a comic book show that I love. I love the distinctness of it, but it also feels a lot more mature. Instead of it trying to be a raunchy comedy about superheroes that are evil, it actually becomes one of the most character-devoted comic book TV shows out there that has this TVMA rating. So I think that that's what makes it better. They use that mature rating, all of the heavy R-rated violence that they usually don't use inside of comic book media. They use it to their advantage here to show actual real-world problems and real situations with these characters. This season also treats the Supes as real characters instead of as in the first season when they're treated like gods among men. This season feels like they're treated more like real characters, and you actually get a lot more character development for all of the Supes. My runner-up at number 2 has got to go to Harley Quinn Season 2. Harley Quinn was a show that I always wanted to check out, and once I checked out the first season, I was like, this is just a great show. This entire show is just so great because it feels more so like this should have been the Birds of Prey movie. This Harley Quinn is better than the one that we see inside of Birds of Prey. Even though I like that movie, I still think that this show just shows Harley Quinn in a different light, and it creates this wacky world that you can have all of these different beings and heroes inside of because it's animated, and they use that to their advantage to make this funny, raunchy, and very heartfelt show that feels like they put their all inside of it. Let's not forget about the progressive relationship between Harley and Ivy throughout the entire season that culminates into them getting together at the end of the season. And I really did love that, even though they did do Kite Man pretty dirty. I gotta say, I did love that moment. But coming in at my number one has got to go to the Mandalorian season 2. I mean, no other show this year just had me so hyped for the next episode next week. Like, literally every episode inside of season 2, I love to a certain degree. And the reason for that is because, yeah, Disney Plus really didn't have that much content on there. But I gotta say, The Mandalorian lends itself well to a series like this. Almost all of the season 2s on this list feel more character devoted because of the fact that, it's the second season. The first season, they were just trying to find their footing. This is the second season where they could go more character devoted. And I find that everything that happens inside of this season happened for a reason. And it worked to culminate into one of the best fan servicey moments inside of any Star Wars film, with the young Luke returning at the end of the film to get baby Grogu. So I just think that, they added in so many great cameos, so many great surprises, everything. They just went bigger and better than the first season, culminating in an emotional finale that worked for me on so many levels. I just think that the relationship between Grogu and Mando made this season a whole lot better. This season worked solely on the relationship between Mando and Grogu, building up into like this father and son relationship, the action and the direction, and just that emotional finale that you can't really do in anything else with any other character other than Luke Skywalker. This is why Mandalorian Season 2 has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for my ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list. And you are free to comment down below your ranking of all of the TV shows that you have seen inside of 2020, right from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favorite. Please note that that tribute for Ninjago will finally be uploaded tomorrow. If you want to get a hold of me on social media, I do have a Twitter. You'll see it on the screen right now. And you guys can go over there and follow if you want to. I will be posting up little small reviews for WandaVision and as well as Batwoman Season 2 when the episodes do come out. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.